This is the JTV News Update. I am Sean Rose. Local athletes, parents, clubs, and other sporting enthusiasts are urged to support the BVI Olympic Committee in its efforts to prevent doping among local athletes when Executive Director of the Caribbean Regional Anti-Doping Organization, RADO, Mrs. Tessa Chatterton-Shaw, visits the Virgin Islands from January 24 to 26. Chatterton-Shaw's visit is part of an educational drive to inform members of the local community about anti-doping practices in sport. Ephraim Penn is president of the BVI Olympic Committee.
It's the first time really that we're going to have the whole community exposed to what is really involved in anti-doping, the fight in anti-doping. I mean, we have watched TV and we have seen the sensational headlines of persons admitting to having been doped.
The BVIOC president said Chatterton-Shaw's visit will create a solid foundation to further develop the BVI's anti-doping regime.
Some of the supplements that people take, which they think they're just for health reasons, they have things that can be on the prohibited list. So they rather issues a prohibited list every year. And what is called a TUE, I think, a technical exemption. You can be exempted from, if you say somebody have asthma and they have to take medication for that illness. If they declare it in advance, then you could be exempted once it shows up in your system. You could be exempted from being banned because you have declared that you are taking this medication. So there's a lot of things that athletes need to know and coaches need to know. And I think, as I said, it's very important for them to come out and learn as much as they can.
In February 2012, the BVI joined the Caribbean Regional Anti-Doping Organization in compliance with standards set out by the World Anti-Doping Agency. Representative for the 3rd District, the Honorable Julian Fraser, has announced that for the first time he would be hosting a job and career fair in his district. The job and career fair, coordinated by the 3rd District Committee, will be held at the Valerie O. Thomas Community Center on Thursday, January 31, and would include businesses and statutory bodies in the district. According to Fraser, the objectives of the job and career fair are to give businesses in the district a valuable exposure, to advise unemployed persons in the district of human resource requirements and needs, and to provide potential training for existing and emerging jobs. One day after celebrating his birthday, Virgin Gorda resident Clavis Pompey lost his only son, 11-month-old Jaquan Pompey, on January 16, shortly after he hugged and kissed him at the Cornerstone School, Virgin Gorda. Speaking to the grief-stricken couple at their home in the Valley, Virgin Gorda, they said they are still awaiting details surrounding the passing of the infant.
I was at work up north over the sea, so I called my boss and tell him, well, I need to come down. Then I came down. When I reached by the clinic, I see that my son was dead for true. And there was nothing I could do about it because I only cry until now I'm still crying. So from that day to now, neither the teacher, nobody from the school have came here to tell us, okay, what happened to our child and explain, so I don't know what to do.
Police reported Wednesday, January 16, that they were investigating the sudden death of an 11-month-old male infant in Virgin Gorda that morning. Police said the deceased, Jaquan Pompey, was taken to the Iris O'Neill Clinic by teachers of a child care center on Virgin Gorda after he appeared to be having difficulty breathing. The police press release says efforts to resuscitate the child at the clinic were unsuccessful and he was pronounced dead at 9:50 a.m. The 40-year-old Flying Iguana restaurant building located at the Virgin Gorda Airport was demolished on Saturday, January 19. The demolition came after concerns were expressed that the derelict building had become an eyesore, especially given its close proximity to the arrival area at the airport. The Flying Iguana building was used for years as the home for chefs working at Little Dix Bay when the resort owned and operated the airport on the island. The Amateur Volleyball Association's Power League will shoot off on Saturday, February 2nd at the Road Tongue Multipurpose Sports Complex starting at 5 p.m. However, members of the public who are desirous of playing the sport are invited for the first time to take part in a Volleyrama Festival this weekend, January 26th and 27th, starting at 1 p.m. daily at the Multipurpose Sports Complex. Cleve Farrington is PRO of the BVIAA. He says the competition is open to all persons interested in playing volleyball.
If you're obviously desirous of playing volleyball, please come out this weekend at 1 p.m. at the Multipurpose Sports Complex and form a team, four male, 4 female team. The only registration is only $20. Once collected, that winner basically get that pool of money that was collected for the entrance fee. And it all depends on how much teams are registered. We will have a set of 25 only. If it's a lot of teams coming in, obviously we'll only go for a set of 25 and that's it. Whoever wins that move on to the next round. If it's obviously less, then we obviously have more double elimination perhaps. But it's all dependent on the amount of teams coming in.